Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mawusi Ragland, known as Woo Rag, and we are back again with Susan Parso. She has overcome domestic violence, and she wants to share with you on the violence that took place in her marriage. And she wants to share with you so that if you find yourself going through this today, if you find yourself in this position today, in this situation, she's going to share her story with you so that you can get help if this is you today and get help right away so that you can start your life. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, Susan, for taking the time out again out of your day to really share your message and to pass it on so that we can help someone else survive this nasty crime. I call it it's a crime. It's abuse. Abuse is a crime. You don't treat people like that. I don't respect it at all. And this is why I do this. This is why I have this podcast so that we can spread the message so that we can help as many as people possibly get out of this vicious cycle safely. So I have a question for you. Let's let's go into details about the violence that took place in your relationship, in your marriage.
Well, there are so many times that I'm not sure which part to talk about. But well, we talked about the first time. I was just shocked, and he just attacked me really. Um, and I'll never forget because I had to then tell the police what happened and everything. Like he had me on the bed and was choking me. And then another time my son has this projector with starfish on it that so it was kind of like a nightlight. And for some reason it was in my room. And he always would attack me when I was in my room, like in the morning, usually, not always, but usually. I don't know why. And so this projector, it's like a hard plastic, like with a little sea star on it, and he took that and he hit me in the back of the head with it, and I that shocked me more than anything that he's ever done because it was hard and it hurt, and he could have really hurt me. And later I was when I don't know, it's probably months later, I'm like, how could you hit me? Well, I didn't hit you that hard. I knew how hard I was hit. I was like, what? Like, you could have like killed me and cracked my head open with that thing. So that was one of the things that sticks out in my mind. And then something I just like dawned on me recently is I would say I mentioned how he was cheating, and I knew that he was cheating probably 2 years before I left him. And so I didn't want, and he was hitting me and abusing me and screaming at me and calling me names. I don't want to be with him anymore. Like I didn't want to have, sex with him or anything. And he still wanted to, and he would make me. And I was telling my friend there that he would like make me have sex with him and I didn't want to, and that sometimes I would cry and he'd do it anyway. Sometimes he would stop, sometimes he wouldn't. And then he would say, "Oh, you're just a bad lay." And I was telling my friend that, she's like, that's like rape. And I was like, oh
It's
my
not
God.
like it is. It's a yeah, that's what he did. He would engage in and you didn't want that.
Yeah, I would cry and say, I don't want to. And I'd say no. And he'd do
That's
it
what they do.
anyway. And then into my like mind blowing to me, like, well, if I'm so disgusting and ugly and terrible and horrible and all these names he'd call me, and I knew he was cheating, and if he's so in love with this other woman, then why would he even invite, it's about control and power. And he would say to me, you don't respect me and I'm gonna make you. And I'm like, well, you can't make me respect you. I could never respect anyone that hits me. That's not respect. It's called fear. And I told him, I am afraid of you, but I do not respect you. And so that would really piss him off. And then he would hit me, you're going to respect me. And then he used to take his fingers like this and he'd poke me, like poke me, poke me, poke me. I like counted, I had like 30 bruises like all over my stomach. He'd poke me and he would say, well, I'm not hitting you. I'm not hitting you. I'm just poking you. That's not hitting. I didn't use a fist. I didn't slap you. It's just a poke. I'm like, yeah, that poke, they're like little daggers every time. It would like, poke, poke, poke. He'd poke me because he said that that was not hitting. And then the second time that I actually had to call the police, I don't even really remember exactly what happened, but
Yeah, that's my next
we have
question.
an old house.
Why didn't you ever
Yeah,
have
we
him
have,
arrested?
well, twice he was arrested.
Okay.
And then actually, he was arrested 3 times, but the third time was because he broke the protection order. And he did stay in jail maybe like a week or two until his girlfriend's husband bailed him out. But that's for, but my walls are
Very
not
similar right there.
drywall. This is a really like old, yeah, this is an old house and these walls are like plaster. So it's like concrete.
Right.
And he like, I could show you the holes in the walls that are still, he threw my cell phone and it got stuck in the wall. That's how hard he threw it. And that was really scary, because these are not like, no hard. You have to throw to like make a hole in like plaster. It's not drywall. It's like throwing a phone into concrete and it like made a hole and stuck into the wall. And that was scary. And then
So you would, just to back up a minute, you would press charges and he would go to jail and you never dropped the charges. He would have to.
no, I dropped the charges both times. The third time I did not, but that was after he was out of the house and I smartened up.
That was
I
that, but that was,
wanted to help him.
and so you did. Why didn't you press charges and keep it there? Why did you?
Because, well, there's lots of reasons.
Why
And
women
now
in
that
that state of mind they do that? Why do they do that? Why are women that are involved in this abuse? Why do they drop the charges?
well, I know a lot of women are still like so in love, but I was not still so in love. But I still felt responsible for him because I brought him here from Colombia and because he had such a terrible childhood with the things that he went through. And I knew what it felt like. My dad left when I was 4. And even though my dad came back and I still saw him on the weekends, it was hard to not have my dad. And I don't want my son to hate me because I separated him from his father. I want my son to have a father. And I thought, well, he'll change if he gets help. He says he's sorry. And he used to be a regular, normal person. He used to be kind and we had fun and we were in love and he was never violent before. It's just because he's going through all these things and I just need to get him help. And I thought if I could just help him, he'll go back to the way he was.
Yeah, they're really,
And then,
yeah, their abusers are really good with grooming you and making you feel that anything that they do, that you're going to really care for them in a way to where you'll just be stuck with them. You don't,
yeah,
you start feeling, oh, I feel so bad for them. They've been through so much. Everything is always turned back. It's as if like you don't exist anymore. It's as if the only thing that you, even with the hurt and the pain and the abuse and all of the beatings, it's you still find that person and say, I feel so sorry for them. What
yes,
you that you
yeah.
and
And
why do you feel that you ended up there? Why do you feel that you ended up there and in that place, in that space mentally and physically? How did you?
well, it happened slowly. So he was pretty normal for 3 years. Then he started yelling at me. And because I grew up in a household with my mom who yelled and screamed and hit me, I can take a lot. Like before I realized it's not normal, um, I didn't realize how bad it was until he started hitting me. And then I thought I could help him. And then I really didn't realize how terrible things were until he was gone, to be honest.
Mhm.
Once he was gone and I started processing everything, it took me, he was left in July and it was probably around October,
Mhm.
even November. so I don't know how many months that is,
Oh,
of me like
October to November.
from July till October. That's
So
how long it took me to realize how terrible things really were. I was like, every day I was like, oh my God, he raped me. Oh my God, he broke
like,
my cell phones. Oh my God, he threatened to murder me in front of my son. Oh my God, he like took a knife and like pretended like he tried to stab me in the shower, and when I screamed, he laughed at me. Like, oh my God, he like said he was gonna make me lose my job. And that's one of the things that he would do, like in the morning. I'm trying to get ready to go to work, and he would like attack me before work, and he'd say, I'm going to make you lose your job. And I like, why? I'm the one that pays all the bills. Like, and then he'd let me go. And so I'd go to work crying and a mess and have to get myself all together. And but so once he was out of the house and I started processing, like, he did this, he did this, he did this, he did this. Oh my God, like that's not normal. That's not normal behavior. I said, oh my, I was abused. Like I was really bad. How did I not see how terrible it was? Because when you're in it, we talked before about being in survival mode, you just survive day by day. And you just, I liken it to like being in a war. And I like was in a 4 years war, and I, process it till it's over. And then you like sit with yourself when you finally have peace and calm, and you're like, I went through this and it was really bad, but I didn't realize how bad it was.
you're right. And I was going to go back into that because of how the abuse as a child, you blocked so much out because you're in survival mode. And then here you are, find yourself back in that situation again. But now this is with someone that charmed you and was so nice. Like it was too good to be true at first. And then all of a sudden he got you. And then after 3 years, it just started out of nowhere. And that's what they do. The put downs. How did he make you feel? Would he talk down to you and talk about your appearance and make you feel that, oh, if no other man wants you, only I want you? Would he make you feel that way?
Well, he would just accuse me of cheating all the time. So he didn't say no other man would want you, but his favorite thing to call me was Free Willy. I gained 80 pounds in like less than a year being with him from the stress.
Because of
And so,
because what was eating you up inside him, he was that demon. And
yeah.
and because you weren't happy, you took it out in other ways of self-harming. It's just
Yeah. So I gained 80 pounds. I didn't care how I looked. I didn't do my hair. I didn't wear makeup. I didn't wear like cute clothes. I would just wear the most comfortable, easiest, like jeans and a t-shirt. That's all I would wear.
at
I
this
wouldn't,
time, were you doing that because you didn't want him to be attracted to you anymore? Were you doing this to kind of like push him away?
I just didn't care. Nothing pushed him away. I would tell him, like, if I'm so disgusting and you hate me so much and I'm such a, bitch, well then just leave, go be happy. If I make you so miserable, just leave and go be happy. And that's when he said, I will kill you if you ever leave me. I will never leave. And I'm like, but why? If I'm so terrible and you hate me so much, why are you here? Just leave. But he would not.
No, he won't. He wouldn't do that. That's what they do. They literally want that control over you. And because they are so sick in the mind, they're not going to leave. He would still be with you right now, controlling you and abusing you because
100%.
right, he was sick. He is mentally crazy. And because of that, it just goes, hopefully it stops with you, but unfortunately, he'll just do that to the next person and they have to go through the same stuff. So, I mean, hopefully, by you leaving him, did you finally end up pressing charges on him the last time when they
So the last time I got a protection order, but because he didn't actually hit me the last time I left, he just yelled at me and accused me of cheating and all that stuff. I couldn't get him like in trouble for that because he just yelled at me. But I did get the protection order approved.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't allowed to come back, but then he broke the protection order, and I made the mistake of not getting the locks changed right away because I didn't want to pay for it, and I was waiting for my dad to
Right.
come. And I thought, well, he learned his lesson and he's afraid of getting arrested because he went to jail twice before. And so he won't come back, but he did. And luckily, my friend was here when he did come back, and she saw, like, well, she saw firsthand, like, how he treated me. And imagine if she wasn't there, like, what would he have done? Like, he ripped the TV off of the wall because it's on that, that was bolted onto the wall on that finger. And he tried to rip that mounting off the wall, and he broke the TV, like cracked into pieces. And I had cleaned up the basement and moved all his stuff into like this back room of the basement. And he like got all his stuff out and started throwing it at us and like destroyed the basement, like just like stuff everywhere. And
Susan, did you call the police?
I told him to get out or I was going to call the police. And my friend was like, you need to leave. And she speaks Spanish like really fluently, like he does. So she went off on him in Spanish. I'm like, oh yeah, tell him some more. And so he didn't leave. So we left. And then I had to call the police and tell them that he was in the house. And so then he did get arrested for breaking the protection order.
Oh, good.
So he was in jail for, I don't know, like a week or 2 weeks until his girlfriend's husband bailed him out.
Let me ask you, did you press charges then?
So then it like went on and on for like a couple months, like months. And then finally the lawyer said, well, he's done this or that, and they don't want to press charges. I'm like, and at that point, I just didn't care anymore. I'm like, as long as he never talks to me again, just, I don't care. I'm just over it. And so that was that.
And that was how long ago?
That was probably, if he goes out, it was probably in August.
Of last year?
Of last year, yeah.
And that's good. So he's no contact, no anything, it's over.
Yeah, he'll call me once in a while to talk to our son and ask me for money. And I just tell him to take a hike.
Good.
And I block him. And then with my son, it's like, I want to talk to my papa. And I'm like, all right, we'll unblock him and we'll call him.
As long as you're not giving him money, as long as you're not letting him back in, as long as you're not rekindling the relationship.
Right. And what's crazy to me is that he thinks that after that, everything that he's done to me, like, why would I give you, he's supposed to be paying me child support. And of course he doesn't. I don't even think he has a job. And I'm like, you're supposed to be paying me. Why would I give you any money? You don't help me with your son at all. Like, he gives me $0 and then asks me for money.
Can you believe that? And that's where the controlling, that's where all of the rage come in, all of the abuse. This man is sick. He's not mentally stable. He needs help.
No, and he does. And I tried to tell him for years. You need to go to counseling, you need help, you need medication. And he thinks that he's not crazy, that it's pretty much everybody else and not him.
And I think, and he probably is on drugs because this is like,
he is, yes.
He is, right?
Yeah, when things got really bad, before I kicked him out, he worked at a recycling plant, and the people that worked there will like pull pills out of the garbage and they break them up and snort them. I'm serious. And one time he asked me, what is this? What are these pills? I'm like, I don't know. Where did you get these? Like, oh, out of the garbage. The guys told me that I could. I'm like, are you crazy? And he ended up getting addicted because I did, maybe like a month ago, I did take him to the airport, and everyone's like, why would you do that? I'm like, I want him out of my life. And he wants to go to New York.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to worry about seeing him when I drive down the street, because we live in a smallish city. And so you just see people all the time.
Where are you from?
I live in Spokane, Washington.
Oh.
And so it's not a huge city. And so you see people all the time. And so I'm like, if he wants to go to New York and he wants to try to make his life better, he has family there that won't put up with his ish, then I'm going to I'll take him, I'll let him go. And when I saw him for the first time in so long, and he looked terrible, he acted, like this is not funny, even though I'm
What?
laughing, but those people that like jump into the street, like waving at the traffic, and you're like, what is wrong with these
I
people?
saw one like
And they're about to get run over by a car. He was acting like that. And he kept telling me, what? I'm like, what are you on? And so I found out that him and his girlfriend got addicted to that drug that's killing everyone, those
fentanyl.
fake opioids that are killing people. That's what him and his girlfriend ended up both being
How was
on.
he even up and long enough to even try to fight anybody? All they do is sit there and nod off all day.
I guess it happened after I got him out of the house, but he was starting to do all
He
these
was
drugs
doing
before.
something, Susan, acting like that with you. That is not normal. People that come home and abuse their women and children, that is not normal. That is
Well, he smoked a lot of weed, and he would smoke the oil, not just like the plants. They were, oh, it's natural, but the oil is not natural. You can fight me on it all you want. It's not natural.
Oh no, I'm
They
not
vape
fighting
it.
you on anything.
Well, you
No,
won't, but other people
education.
do.
Oh, okay, right. We're
Right.
talking to
I
the
know
audience.
you won't.
Right.
But so it's like they vape it, and it's oil, and it's like 100 times stronger than regular weed. And
Okay.
he would do that. And when he was sober, he would be angry. He is 100% addicted to marijuana, and people will say it's not addictive and it doesn't ruin families. It's from nature and it's legal and it's this and it's that. I'm like, well, you know what? It ruined him. That's how it all started. He would smoke the oil. He was so addicted, and he
Girl.
had to have it to be like mellow or normal. And if he was sober, he was angry, he was agitated, he was anxiety ridden. And that's how it all started. And then it turned into whatever went
Wow.
on.
If you guys are on the oil, you might want to rethink that. Okay, so because it just does when you start dabbling with different things, it leads to other things. Now the man's on fentanyl, and the whole thing is that he did he drink too as well?
He did drink. And one time he got so drunk he was throwing up blood. And he had like visions of his grandma that had passed away, and he was throwing up blood, and he asked me to help him, and I wouldn't. So he went in the bathroom, and I guess he woke up and had vomited on himself, and I wouldn't help him.
Oh, he was
And
yes.
yeah, so then he quit drinking after that,
Ladies,
which helped. That's when he had a good spell that lasted a good 6 months or so. He still hit me in that 6 months, but it was like a lot better when he quit drinking. But I've heard that he drinks again now, but I don't know. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are with someone that is a drinking, doing drugs, being abusive, leave. Leave.
Yeah, it's all you could do.
Right, because your children are in danger. You're in
You
danger.
can't help them.
Did you hear it was a couple of weeks ago? As you know, the children are getting murdered left and right. Not only getting abused, they're getting left in the car seats in the back of the seat, and the parents are walking away free. So we need to stop that. This is ridiculous. You all are just acting a fool out here, and it needs to stop. If you know that you're getting abused, you need to take your child out of the situation. You don't get abused and leave your child with the abuser as well because you're scared to leave. No, because then they end up dead, and you need to pay for the consequences. This is a joke. This is serious.
And another thing I didn't share. So I was working, he wasn't,
Mhm.
and he was taking care of my son. This is before I knew all the stuff going on. And then my son started to get like behind, and I didn't understand why. Like he was having trouble potty training, and he wasn't talking like I thought he should, and he wasn't meeting all the milestones like when I thought he should have. And so I got him into physical therapy and occupational therapy, and they're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with him. It's just exposure. I'm like, what do you mean exposure? His dad's with him all day, and his dad speaks Spanish, and he couldn't speak. My son cannot speak Spanish. And I'm like, if he's with this man all day long and he can't speak Spanish, even though he's with his dad way more than he's with me because I'm at work, and I try to potty train this kid, and I can't because I'm only doing it at night, right? When I'm home.
Right.
Well, I found out that he was off with his girlfriend and they're smoking pot and they're doing all, and he was just putting my kid in front of the TV. I mean, it looked like he was taken care of because his diaper was changed and he had food to eat, but he wasn't interacting with him and he's behind. And I like that like scars my heart because I didn't know. And when I figured this out, I put him in daycare and all of a sudden he was potty trained. All of a sudden he was talking. And guess what? He doesn't know Spanish because dad never talked to him, you know?
He was
And so
neglectful.
yeah, and it was hard to tell because he had food to eat, he had love from me, and I'm sure his dad did love him, but didn't spend any time. I'd say take him to the library, take him to the park, but he never did. He was just too busy doing whatever he was doing. So when I figured that out, that was when I'm like, I'm gonna have to leave this man. But I couldn't do it in that moment, and so but I did get my son in daycare, and
Yes.
that solved a lot of the problems, but it
Yes.
still bothers me because he's still behind. He just finished kindergarten and he's still a little bit behind. And then I don't know if it's because his dad didn't do all the things with him that he should
It's
have or what.
because of all of the trauma that he
Yeah.
had to endure watching you. See, most women don't realize it that when you come from a home and it's a lot of chaos, the mom's getting abused, she's getting yelled out, it affects us children. It
Hmm.
does. And it's something that a lot of women, they get themselves in a situation and like, oh, I don't see a way out. The dad has to stay home with the child. He's doing it to me. He won't dare do it to the son and be neglectful. He's gonna help. He's gonna do this, do that because that's his baby. He love him. But ladies, come on, let's open our minds, get your heart away from the situation and think with your mind. It's going the child suffering. That's what
Yeah.
it boils down to. And then later on, you don't run away from it. It doesn't get better because then you're stuck feeling sorry. Like, oh, I should have left earlier. I feel really bad. I did this. But as soon as you can get out, which today, please get out if you're in this situation, if you are identifying with the story that Miss Susan is sharing with us all today, if you can identify what she's saying today, please, there's help out there for you. I'm going to give you a 1-800 number. We're going to wrap it up. And I just want to ask Susan, we both know that women, children, and men are facing this today, right now. We know that women are in this situation. What advice can you give to them so that they can leave out of the situation and to know when enough is enough?
Well, when your kids are suffering, your health is suffering, you know, um, you know how you feel, and you know that you're not feeling like you did before you met the man, or women can abuse too. But before you met that person,
Yes.
you shouldn't feel sad, you shouldn't feel lonely, you shouldn't feel scared. And if they make you feel less than or alone or scared, that's not normal. And they're not going to change, you're not going to help them. You can wish all you want, because I did, and it's not going to work. The only way to solve the problem is to leave, to get away from them.
And
And
also,
it,
go ahead.
I was just, and the YWCA helped me,
Thank
and they're all over the country. They give me, I'm still in counseling. They give me counseling. They had babysitting. They helped me fill out the protection order. They gave me a paralegal to help me with the divorce. They helped me fill out all the paperwork. They went to court with me. Um, they went to court with me to get the protection order. They went to court with, they helped me so much. I cannot tell you, like, I could not have done it without their help. So if you're afraid, because I was afraid, but you have to do it anyway, because you will feel better, and you will move on, and you will be the person you were before. It takes a while, like it's been a year for me, and I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. I was saying how I quit caring how I looked. I I never would wear like a cute shirt like this. I would just wear like a baggy t-shirt every day. That's all I would wear because I didn't care. I never put on makeup, nothing. And now I'm like, oh, I should put on some makeup and look good. Like you will feel better if you just got to take that first step. And that is the scariest thing, is just deciding I'm going to leave, and then taking that step out the door is like the hardest, scariest, most terrifying thing. But once you do it, everything else just gets better. It just gets better and better.
Is that the place that helped you? Are they internationally, globally? Are they known? Can they help? Is it a 1-800 number?
I don't know if it's international, but I know that they're like a branch of the YMCA kind of, I think.
Okay.
And so like anywhere there's a YMCA, there's more than likely a YWCA. They do have a website. And you can they can make it private. So if someone checks your computer, like it won't show up and stuff like that. And
Yes.
they'll like help you, like they won't say who they are if they call you.
You can do everything anonymously.
Yeah. And I was never that. I was like, I don't care. You can know who I didn't care. I just wanted help. But I know some women are really, really terrified and want to stay secret, and they will help you. But they will tell you that you have to leave. They recommended that I go to a shelter and they help you. They help you get into the shelter that's for women and kids. So it's not scary. It was still scary to me. And I was like, I'm not leaving my house. I pay all the bills. And so I was able to get him out. But I know not all women have that choice, that option.
Yes.
And so they do help you. They help you have a place to stay. They help with daycare. They'll even help you with clothes. Like they do so many amazing things. And I'm so thankful that there is help out there, and you just have to ask for it.
Yes. And I'm going to give you ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with a telephone number to domestic violence hotline, and they do as well. They will help you, and it is private. They will give you information so that you can safely leave the situation. The number is 1-800-799-SAFE. Again, that number is 1-800-799-7233. I'm so happy that you've joined us again. And what you've shared is so important. It will help many people. Trust me. That's why I do this. That's why I have this podcast, because this is what's needed right now. Because people are dying and getting murdered at a phenomenal rate. We're going to lose about 2 to 3 women today because of domestic violence. Children as well.
And they won't even know what happened to them. You never think it will happen to you, but it definitely can happen.
Absolutely. The person that is there abusing you, that's already doing the crime, is showing you right now what's happening, what's can lead up, what's already taking place. You're already in the situation, ladies and gentlemen. You're not out of it, you're in the situation. So for you and your children, please leave. Please get yourself out of the situation so you can live the life that you are meant to live.
Right. And it doesn't matter what they say to you. Oh, I love you so much. You're my everything. You're my world. You're my life. You're my wife. Oh, my family means everything to me. But then the next day they hit you. Like, no, you listen to their actions, and not their words mean nothing.
Yes. Thank you so much. You have done a phenomenal job, and we're going to help people today. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And be sure to leave a review and let us know how we're doing. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Have a wonderful day. My name is Mawusi Ragland, known as Woo Rag. Go ahead, Susan. You want to say bye?
Yeah, I hope that I just want everyone to leave their abusive partner. And I hope that even this one person will like listen and be like, yes, I can do it too. I can leave. Because you can leave. It's possible.
Absolutely, it's possible. So go ahead and start now, okay? Don't wait any longer. It's okay. And let us know how you're doing. Enjoy. Can they reach out to you?
Yes.
Go ahead, give your email quickly before it cuts off.
My email is susanparso@gmail.com, and I'm on Instagram. I'm Susan Parso, Parso on Instagram. And if you just want someone to talk to, I'm there. You can always message me either on Instagram or email, and I would love to talk to you.
You heard it from Miss Susan Parso. Thank you so much. Please, if you didn't catch the information, take it back and share with your friends and contact us. We're here for you. Enjoy. Thank you for your time.
Bye.